Sources telling CNN that President Trump is expected to announce, possibly tomorrow, that he is ending the immigration program known as DACA, which stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It protects nearly 800,000 young undocumented immigrants who were brought here as children from deportation. The president would delay taking action for 6 months, thereby giving Congress time to come up with a fix. So let's talk about this and what's going to happen here. Senior political contributor Maria Cardona is here, syndicated talk radio host John Fredericks here as well. He's a former co-chair, by the way, of the Trump campaign in Virginia. So glad to have both of you come on, especially on this holiday, to inform our viewers. Maria, you first. If the president rescinds DACA, what will it mean for the immigrant community and their children who are undocumented but have been here since childhood?
Well, I think it would mean yet another big slap in the face by this president who really does not understand what the immigrant community and immigrants have contributed to this country. I think it would be a heartless act and an unnecessary act if he really wants to urge Congress to get a legislative solution, which is really what we need at the end of the day to fix this once and for all. Then he should do it by his own will and by trying to convince his own Republicans in Congress to do what's right and do what is sensible. This is something that the majority of the American people, including Republicans, including Trump voters, agree with, to give these kids a pathway to citizenship, to give these kids the opportunity to live out the American dream in a country that they know, that they love, and that they don't know no other country. They are as American as you and I, Don.
John, you don't think it's a good idea. Why? You think it's a good idea to get rid of it?
Of course, Don. We have a rule of law in this country. If you have no laws, you have no country. When Obama did this originally, he acted in an unconstitutional manner against the laws of the United States, Don, and he admitted that several times. So Trump has no choice. But here's the other thing.
You're talking about an executive order?
When Obama made the executive order, that was an unconstitutional order that he said 5 prior times he couldn't do. Put that aside. That's already done. Here's the bottom line. This president campaigned on getting rid of DACA for 18 months. Elections have consequences. And it amazes me, Don, it amazes me, whenever this president follows through on a promise, the elites in Washington and the establishment Republicans are shocked. You know why? Because they don't follow through on anything. These Republicans who are going to back amnesty, here's what they do. They go back to their constituencies and they tell them one thing, and then they go to Washington and they do the exact opposite. So they go home and they lie. Then they go to Washington and they do whatever Wall Street says, the Chamber of Commerce says, and their donors say. This is, you have to fix the rule of
Okay, let me ask you this.
Don.
And so you're saying that the former president, the executive order was unconstitutional. So all the executive orders, the many executive orders that this president has signed, are they unconstitutional?
Don't confuse the issue, Don. We're talking about.
I'm not confusing, but you're saying it was unconstitutional, an executive order, and this White House has touted saying that his biggest accomplishments have been executive orders. I'm just asking you, are they unconstitutional as well?
None of the president's executive orders have been declared unconstitutional by the president. President Obama said they were unconstitutional before he even executed it. That's the problem.
That's not
true. But the bottom line is, Don, look, we allow 4 million legal immigrants in the country annually to take jobs away from Americans. 4 million annually through green cards, work visas, student visas, and
the
etc.
facts don't really bear that out, right?
It's depressing.
That people are taking jobs. No, it doesn't. The facts don't show that, John.
Don, wages have been stagnant in this country for middle and low-income workers, Don, for 3 decades.
That has nothing to do with immigrants.
Rich get richer, right?
That has nothing to do with immigrants. That's just a straw man. That's just a boogeyman that you're making immigrants boogeymen. Listen, no, they're undocumented immigrants.
They're not the boogeyman, Don. It's economic reality that the liberals don't want to acknowledge.
I'm just giving you the facts. And lower class workers don't bear that out. That's a great talking point for conservative radio, probably, but that's not the truth.
America growing, it's stagnant.
If I could jump in here, because I really have no idea what John is talking about, because he is using absolutely zero zero facts, as per usual for somebody who wants to argue that immigrants should not be welcome in this country. Our economy depends. Our economy depends on immigrants.
He didn't say that. He did say that they should follow the law. He did not say that.
I think they should follow the law.
But go ahead, Maria.
My point is
cheap labor.
My point is about DACA. These dreamers is that if we get rid of DACA completely, then our economy is going to lose $4.65 billion in the $465 billion in the next 10 years. These are kids who contribute greatly to this economy. Immigrants contribute greatly to this economy. Undocumented immigrants contribute greatly to this economy. And that is something that people like John and other Republicans who don't want to see immigration grow in this country don't understand. We are a country whose economy depends on immigrants, documented, yes, and now undocumented. I agree that we are a country of laws. But guess what? The rule of law does not exist in a vacuum. It exists to make sure that they serve people's lives. And immigration laws no longer serve the way that we have our economy set up. And so we need to change those laws.
All right, John, I want you to listen to what the president has said about dreamers in the past. Here it is.
They shouldn't be very worried. I do have a big heart. We're going to take care of everybody. Some absolutely incredible kids. I would say mostly. They were brought here in such a way. It's a very, very tough subject. We are going to deal with DACA with heart. We love the dreamers. We love everybody.
So, John, President Trump's critics say that this is all political, that he is trying to please the base and pass the buck and take no responsibility for a decision that would affect millions, and that many say is cruel. Is there truth to that, and is that presidential leadership on a tough issue?
Well, look, I think you heard what the president said. This isn't an easy decision for him to make, but we do have laws in this country that has to be followed. But look, I've got a big heart also, and that's for American workers whose wages have been stagnant for 30 years. These are the facts, Maria. You just can't make up stuff.
But that's not the fault
the level
of these
of unemployment
dreamers.
the male African American community between 18 and 25 is higher than ever. Why? Jobs are going away, jobs get shipped over, and there's the factor of cheap
John, hold on. John, I'm going to let you finish. Hold on,
Maria.
Maria and John. John, listen. Again, that is a talking point. The facts don't bear that out. You know why jobs are going away?
Sure it does.
Automation. People need to be retrained. Technology. That's why jobs are going away. They're not going away because undocumented children come over or dreamers come over and stay. In many ways, dreamers add to the economy. They go on and they become successful citizens. There's less crime among people who are dreamers.
Then come here legally, Don.
But
then follow the law.
That's understandable, but then don't give the talking point that they're taking jobs. That's not correct. That's not
point. It's the
facts. It's not the facts, John. It's not. It's just simply not. Every fact will show you it doesn't do that.
And these are kids that were put in a situation.
Middle and lower class workers gone up in the United States in the past 3 decades.
That's true, but that has nothing to do with dreamers.
Wealth is
you are conflating two different issues.
Yeah. And you say, John, you say follow the law. You say follow the law. But these dreamers came here through no fault of their own. Some of them had no idea that they had no status until they graduated from high school. Some of them are summa cum laudes in their high school classes. Many of them bled and have died in our military. We had one who died this past weekend trying to save people in Houston, and this is the way that we treat them? We are better than this as a country. This is a country that values this kind of work ethic, and we should show it.
I've got to go.
So, Maria, you basically want to make up your own laws, right? If you agree with the law, you want to follow it.
No, I want Congress to change the laws to serve what the situation
Trump
is
given him
today.
6 months to do that.
Okay.
He's given him 6 months to do that. Let's see what they do.
Thank you.
Let's see what they do. Republicans haven't been able to do it in the past.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. When we come back, I'm going to speak to one of these dreamers whose life could be drastically affected by the removal of DACA, a man who was brought here at the age of 2. He's going to join me, and we're going to discuss what's next for him and what he's worried about.